The party quickly glosses over Lumera's funeral. Then Alfred tells us that he's here because Faraway is under attack by the corrupted, and beseeches us to aid him, which we promptly accept. After making one last promise to Lumera on fulfilling our Divine Dragon duties, and one day returning to her side, Chapter 4 begins with us at the Somniel, which we went to at Vander's suggestion for setting up a base of operations. A place that we can conveniently travel to and from anywhere in the world. Once I'm given control, I'm given 3 rings and 3 weapons that are slightly stronger than what we've currently got, because I connected my Nintendo account to my Fire Emblem Heroes account before Engage launched. To be honest, I completely forgot about that until I got to this point. And so, we are given a chance to explore the limited number of facilities currently available, where we collect the bond fragments for my achievements, pick up various items from nuts to manure that's classified as a gift for some reason, and talk to our allies who are each wearing wonderful and stylish outfits, from Clan and Fram's matching hoodies to Vanda's dapper suit. We also get the opportunity to raise our support levels with Clan and Vander, who both display how seriously they take being the Divine Dragon stewards, by ensuring Alear doesn't do any menial tasks, from tidying up our room to doing laundry since that's their duty, or else they'd be out of a job, as Vander says. Once we're done, we make our way to the Kingdom of Faraway, ruled by Queen Eve and possessors of the Ring of the Caring Princess. As we travel, we make it to Floramil Town, where the corrupted are in the midst of their assault, and in the middle of it all is the Princess of Faraway Celine, and her retainers Louis and Chloe. The retainers stand their ground, giving their princess an opportunity to retreat. From this point we're able to prepare before combat. Starting off with the Emblem rings, I equip Alfred with Sigurd, Fram with Alphonse S, Boucheron with Sharina S, and Clan with Anna S. With items I give Fogvanger and the next Vulnerary to Alear, Noatun to Boucheron, and Fensalier to Alfred just in case we need extra power to take out some of the enemies. I then shift everyone to these positions and start the map. Celine makes it to our starting position and warns us that the Elusian army is on their way to Faraway's castle, and urgently asks us to hurry back to her retainers that are in the middle of the map. Alear also takes the opportunity to awaken the Ring of the Caring Princess in Celine's possession, which contains Emblem Celica, and since the map has already begun, we can't give the ring to anyone else for the time being. Back to Louis and Chloe. They concoct a plan on how to deal with the foes surrounding them, by having Louis deal with the physical damage dealers, while Chloe deals with the mages, which is what we'll do for the next few turns. The goal of the map is to defeat the boss Radine, but it will be a while before we get to that point, so we prioritise meeting up with the retainers. To do that, I start by having Celine Emblem engage with Celica, move her over to the right and use Warp Ragnarok, a skill that allows the user to teleport up to 10 tiles away if the target position is 1 or 2 tiles away from the enemy, and then follow up with a devastating attack. This gets Celine to her retainers immediately and improve their situation. Chloe then finishes off the Charred Corrupted, and Louis holds the fort to better defend the central party's left flank. As for the main force, we'll be splitting the group. Boucheron takes charge going right, and Clan follows, along with Alfred and Etienne who visit the nearby house and are rewarded with a javelin. The remaining members go north and get the corrupted in their path to low HP. The enemy phase quickly threatens an early game over where Alear gets broken and takes on a double team from the lance unit and a cavalry with a hand axe, though thankfully he narrowly dodges the decisive blow. Alfred gets broken by an approaching armor knight, while Boucheron has a better time heavily wounding another one. Louis remains steadfast and resolute in his position, taking only a low amount of damage from a critical hit. Eventually, the enemy phase ends with an enemy human reinforcement, and an introduction to the Draconic Time Crystal, the colourful stone that the sassy little child from the previous chapter dropped, which acts as this game's version of Mila's Turnwheel from Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia, and Divine Pulse from Fire Emblem Three Houses, which allow us to turn back time to an earlier point in the battle. Hopefully I won't need to use it, but knowing me, I'll probably end up falling into a trap or messing up some calculations later. Turn 2, I give Fram the honour of taking out the corrupted that the group who went north first encountered. Alir moves up to the fort so he gets an opportunity to heal at the start of the next turn, and then he takes out the nearby cavalry unit, looting the hand axe and returning one of his vulneraries to the convoy. Vander takes an adjacent position to Alir, who presents him with that hand axe and then proceeds to use it on the corrupted flyer. The southern group have clan initiate on the armor knight that attacked Alfred, followed by Etier giving it a critical poke and Alfred finishing it off. Boucheron then eliminates the remaining armor knight in their vicinity. The central trio send Chloe to dispatch the corrupted with the infinite hit rate surge tome. Céline moves to a safe position that the axe cavalry can't reach, and attacks the flyer with the Seraphim tome that's super effective against corrupted. Louis tries to weaken one of the surrounding enemies and fails. Etier gets attacked by a corrupted archer and returns the gesture with a killing blow. Louis holds strong, successfully damaging the armor knight some more, and maintaining the status quo with the cavalry. The enemy flyers attack, and Vander gets broken while the other is destroyed by Céline. Then the remaining units other than the boss close in on the central area. Turn 3, Louis makes another offensive attempt on the axe cavalry and is successful, which lets Céline swoop in and use Celica's other ability Echo to conduct 2 separate attack actions with 50% less damage, which is still enough to defeat both foes surrounding Louis. Chloe retreats to her princess's side and claims the 2,000 gold reward from the house we neglected to visit. With the southern group safe, I put Etier in the fort for healing and move everyone else as far to the right as we can. With Alir's damage boost, Fram knocks out the remaining enemy flyer without retaliation and finally hits level 2. I then move over Vander and Alir onto the bridge so they're ready to reinforce the central group. An archer makes the mistake of attacking Céline, who one-shots them in return. In anger for stopping their village pillage, the ruffian attacks Vander and deals a surprising amount of damage. Afterwards, the enemy reinforces themselves with 2 armor knights that spawned from a fort in the north to impede our progress. Turn 4, Fram goes to heal Vander, and since Alir is on the last turn of his current engaged state, we have him use Lodestar Rush to slay the village pillager. Alfred crosses over the southeastern bridge and Emblem engages with Sigurd to give him enough movement to hide in the thicket north of him and heal up, to prepare for when the nearby Lance Corrupted attack. Next we move Louis 1 tile forward to let Céline on the fort, and Chloe moves to Céline's left to ensure the Lance Corrupted focus on Alfred. We then move Clan and Etier to the right while Boucheron sits on the fort. Vander then moves over to preemptively attack one of the enemy armor knights from a distance. As expected, the corrupted lance units near Alfred attack him, or at least one of them, and both armor knights give Vander quite a beating. The remaining lancer pursues the main force and enemy Pegasus knights spawn from the west and south forts. This also ends up teaching me that we can't block fort reinforcements by having a unit on top of it, unlike most of the older Fire Emblem games. Turn 5 we send Etier back to deal with the southern Pegasus knight, and surprisingly she can't one-round the flyer, even with Boucheron's help. So while it's weakened, we send Clan back to attack 2, which causes Boucheron to finish the job, but let Clan take the EXP, leveling him up to level 3. We next have Alfred use Override, an attack skill that can pierce through a line of enemies, and we use it to eliminate the Lord Lance unit. Moving on to our main force, we send Chloe over to the west to throw a javelin as the Pegasus Knight, successfully breaking it, followed by an attack from Fram which puts the enemy HP low enough for Alir to deal the finishing blow, bringing him to level 4. We move Céline down from the fort and attack the lance unit that was behind them. Vander follows up on that attack and we position him in a way that ensures that only one of the armor knights can attack him. Louis then brings to rest the last of the southern threats. As expected, only one armor knight can attack Vander, allowing him to live another turn. Turn 6, we send Alir and Fram back over the bridge. I have Selene guarantee the defeat of the Axe Armor Knight, since if we let it move, it wouldn't be hindered by the thicket. Louis takes a stab at the remaining Armor Knight, and we reposition Vander just a tile below Selene, away from the other Armor Knight's movement range. We also get Alfred in line with the main squad, and Chloe chills next to Fram since she can't deal any damage right now. On the enemy phase, Alir gets stabbed and broken, then more enemy reinforcements show up before we regain control. Turn 7, Chloe makes use of Alir's personal skill to deal 10 damage to the Armor Knight with her javelin, and then Alir finishes things off. Fram stays where she is and heals Alir. I place Alfred on the Emblem energy closest to him to prepare for the inevitable clash with the boss. We then put Vander on the fort and use a vulnerary that heals 22 HP, thanks to Selene's Gentle Flower ability. And then we end the turn by moving Selene to Vander's left. Vander dodges the archer's siege, and then the remaining enemy units, including the boss, advance closer to us as we near the penultimate turn. Turn 8, Vander breaks the lance corrupted closest to him. Then with a magnificent jump, Chloe throws her javelin straight into that corrupted's heart. Selene barbecues the other lance corrupted, and Louis brings the skewer. As for the archer, we double team it with Alfred and Alir, then heal Chloe with Fram. The remaining enemies approach once more, and Alir gets hit by one of the mages. Turn 9, I find that Vander can't deal any damage to the boss, and so we place him here at the choke point, to let the others comfortably advance and dispatch the mage that got close by sending Fram and Alir, who thankfully gets his emblem gauge filled before the final turn. The last enemy mage takes position on the fort and shoots at Vander from a distance, though with his hand axe, Vander successfully hits a blind shot back, and instead of engaging at long distance combat, Radin reveals a steel lance that he'd been hiding and slams Vander, who's unable to do anything back. Final turn, Chloe fails to finish off the mage. We then have Alir Emblem engage one last time this battle and use Lodestar Rush on the boss with Folk Armor, instead of the rapier to give everyone else an opportunity to poke. Louis succeeds where Chloe failed and slices the mage in half. Alfred Emblem engages as well and contributes 1 damage, and then Selene ends the map by shooting 2 fireballs at the boss.